Oh, yeah. March. It's back. It's March 2nd. We're 2 days in, and we are just so excited about the NFL Scouting Combine that we just watched. And yet there's huge news coming with huge names about huge quarterbacks we're going to get into. Willie Colon,
yes.
Huge. Manti Te'o, huge. Raheem Mostert, fast. Raheem is joining us. We love him. He knows every player in the league. He's smoked every defender in the league. We absolutely love his skills, his personality, and he is hanging out with us. Raheem, you having a good time?
I'm having a great time. I appreciate you guys. This is awesome.
Let's get it.
You're the man.
This is the best.
And Manti Te'o is always a party. It's Good Morning Football. Let's start the show now. Good morning, football. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just hang out with our friends on both coasts, and we talk about football. Guys, how we feeling? Manti, how's the vibe in Los Angeles?
The vibe is immaculate right now, KB. It is so nice. I mean, the fact that this man right here is still trying to play some football. He also just came off vacation celebrating Tua's birthday in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And he's here, brother, at 3 o'clock in the morning, ready to roll. That's how much it means to him, KB, you know?
Yeah, it means a lot, man. I'll tell you that.
How was that alarm this morning, Raheem? How was it?
Quick. It was real quick. But, you know, when a job has to be done, it has to be done. It has to be done, fellas.
My man. Appreciate you being here. I've always respected your game and your personality. I love that you're bringing it to us. But listen, we got big things going on. Manti, you mentioned Tua Tagovailoa. We bring in Tom Pelissero. Tom, as much as we're celebrating the NFL Combine and we would like to spend the entire segment on Jennings Dunker, we have to talk about massive names in the NFL. Already guys who are established, especially quarterbacks. Take it wherever you would like, my friend.
Kyle, this is a really unique offseason for quarterback movement, not just because this is not regarded as the most talented quarterback class in terms of instant impact type of starters coming out of the draft, but also because some of the top names who are going to be in demand are currently still on their existing rosters. Let's start out with Geno Smith in Las Vegas. The Raiders, of course, acquired Smith from Seattle last year in exchange for a third-round draft pick. He's already got $18.5 million fully guaranteed for 2026. An additional $8 million would become fully guaranteed if he's still on the roster on March 13th. That means that it is decision time. It's a soft deadline for Las Vegas to determine exactly what direction they want to go. And while it's hard to imagine Geno staying and essentially being the second fiddle to what we all expect to be Fernando Mendoza, the #1 overall draft pick, my understanding is the Raiders do intend to have a veteran starting quarterback on the roster. Could that potentially be Geno Smith? If not, then whether via a trade or a release, you would anticipate the Raiders are going to do something by March 12th, the day before that additional $8 million would fully vest. Similar type of situation for the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. GM Monty Ossenford declined to address Kyler's future essentially at the Combine, has refused to rule out any scenarios, but Kyler, who's already due $36.8 million fully guaranteed this coming season, has another $19.5 million that becomes fully guaranteed if he's on the roster on March 15th. So once again, we've got a soft deadline in Arizona. I would fully anticipate that if Kyler Murray were released, he would have a strong market. That's in part because, just like Geno Smith, when you have a bunch of fully guaranteed money, another team can sign you for a minimum salary, much like the Steelers did a couple of years ago with Russell Wilson. Can Arizona trade him? Will Kyler even allow himself to be traded? He would have to sign a revised contract. For these guys in one shape or another is going to end up changing teams for 2026. And that first week of free agency, which, by the way, Kyle, is next week. The negotiating window opens 1 week from today. By the end of the week, these additional names you would anticipate could also be on the move.
Tom, you just fired us up. That was a great report. High energy, high stakes, too, because of the names and the money and the future of these players. I appreciate you, Tom Pelissero. We have to go right to a close friend and teammates of Tua Tagovailoa. As Raheem, we have you here. You've played with Tua for years. You are personal friends with Tua. We just heard it. Not expected to be back with the Dolphins. There's a couple different sides of this. First of all, before we get to him, how do you feel about hearing that news that your friend and teammate Tua Tagovailoa is likely never to be a Dolphin again?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of tough because as players, as former players as well, and anybody in the world, you don't like change. And so for a guy who's built his career down in South Florida and has a great reputation of being a humble guy, massive, just being an island guy that just, brings that energy. It's kind of one of those things that is sad and heartbreaking, but at the same time, a job has to be done. So whether he goes to a different team or, they stay put, he's going to be good either way. And his attitude has always been good. Mm-hmm. His attitude has always been, just relaxed and copacetic and let's figure out the next wave. And that's why we've been so connected.
Before I go, I want to hear from you, Raheem, because I have a personal relationship with Tua as well. What do you see in Tua's play on the football field that separates him as a quarterback in this league?
Yeah, he a great decision maker. Last year, obviously, with the interceptions that he's thrown, it was kind of tough. And I was watching it from afar, but I could tell you, when you're dealing with a offense that is that high caliber with timing and effort, and you need guys that have to be at their marks at the same time, and you got a guy like Reek that goes down, and Waddle is the only other guy that's the weapon, and then you have A-Chain. It makes it a lot more difficult and challenging in regards to trying to figure out who the next guy up is, and that's the mentality that you have to have within that offense. So with him, it's all about his timing and his effort, and he's a hustler, man. That's something that he does.
Well, I asked you that question because everybody has heard me talk about Tua on this show, and I wanted to hear from somebody who's actually played with Tua, been at practice with Tua, in meeting rooms. What does that look like? What does that experience look like? Because this is what I know about Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa is extremely accurate. And what I mean by that, to a player, it's going to a place. And I think that Tua Tagovailoa does that at a higher clip than most. Now, when I watched Tua the past few years, it seems like there's a lot going up here. And I think as he's able to filter through those thoughts, emotions, whatever it is that's going up here, I think that's going to even raise his game to a higher level and higher ceiling. So I am optimistic about Tua, Willie, when it comes to his career moving forward, because to Raheem's point, it did seem like Mike McDaniel's system was fast, and it has to be done on a clock. And I think sometimes giving a quarterback the opportunity to just breathe and just do his thing, I think will benefit him in the long run, Willie.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tua is a high-end rhythm quarterback, but fit matters, man. He's going to need an offensive line, and he's going to need a running back. I don't think he's the type of quarterback right now in his career where you can build around him. He's an MVP candidate when he was a legit quarterback, when he was throwing the ball on time, the offense was hurt, and he needs to be around guys who can make plays when the ball is in his hands, and all he has to do is dink and dunk and deliver on time. If he's able to get an offense like that, I think we'll see a brand football from Tua that we can all appreciate and love, KB.
I want Raheem's perspective on this. Raheem, what happened? I remember vividly, man. 3-0 to start the year a few years ago. You're playing the Denver Broncos. You score 70 points. You had 4 touchdowns. It's Tyreek. It's A-Chan. It's Tua throwing the ball over. Mike McDaniel. Now, McDaniel gone. Tua about to be gone. Tyreek got, how did this fall apart? Because it really felt like this was the next big thing in the NFL in the future. I remember it well. I know you do. What happened? What's to blame?
Yeah, KB. I mean, golly, that's a hard question to answer, man. I swear. You look back and you're like, man, that team we had was rolling. Our trajectory was just going up, right? Like throughout each and every game. That Denver game just it solidified the offense and how we wanted to run. But also, I think it came with a little bit of humility. We had to get humbled real quick too, and obviously, injuries as well. Plays a big factor. We lost a lot of key guys towards the end of the year that could have helped us exponentially in trying to create, that first win in years in the playoffs. So. There's a lot of things that happened throughout that season, but man, I tell you, it was one of those things that, there's so many different questions that you can go about and try to answer and try to find those answers. But I think the biggest thing that we didn't do in that season was be collective, both on the offensive side. I don't know about the defense. I think
Are you still hanging out with Tua? When's the last time you've seen him? And if you wouldn't mind sharing with us, How is he dealing with this adversity?
Yeah, you know, Big Oos. I was with Big Oos this past weekend. Flew down to the Bahamas to be with him for his birthday. His birthday is coming up, and spent birthday weekend with him. You know, we had a bunch of golf, and that's why I'm a little red right now, as you can tell. So, but yeah, no, I was out there in the sun enjoying it, playing some golf. No shoes, no shirt. You know, that was that attitude right there. And so, you know, I didn't even get a chance to talk to him about the whole situation. I didn't want to bring it up because it was a moment for him right now that was, you know, very important, and hanging out with his uncles, hanging out with his cousins and his best friends and his brother-in-law. So we just sat there, man, and just, you know, listened to the ukulele, enjoyed some good food, and just embraced the moment. But I could tell you that his spirits are good, though. His spirits are real good.
That's cool, and I respect it. That's what friends do. You don't sit there, no shoes, no shirt, and be like, hey, so Tua, you going to be on the Jets? Like, that record kind of scratches, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
KB.
All right, let's